Hey everybody, Tina here with Loving Life's Little Blessings, and I just wanted to share with you guys a room tour. It's not perfect and it's not finished, but it is pretty close, and I can share with you the majority of where things are and how I've set everything up. You can see the walls still need to be painted. So I'll tell you a few of the things that still need to be done, and then I'll do another room tour in a couple months after we get everything painted and everything. I just am realizing that we're kind of done. We just feel done working on this. So some of the finishing stuff is probably just going to take a little while to get done. So I'm right at the garage door. We still refer to this as the garage. We probably always will. We might, get in the habit of calling it my office, but I'm right at the door and I'm on the stairs. So here is the side door, and what we need to still paint. Obviously I have to get the wallpaper to hang over this plywood, and then I'll paint it. And then also we need to get the trim. So I need to go pick the trim, and I just haven't had an opportunity to do that. So you can see right down here in this corner, my husband's tools are still here, and the paint is still here because there is some items that we can paint and that we are going to be painting. So this right here, this cart, this is probably where it's going to be. I think that this is where I have decided that it will be. And then this wall, I'm not sure. The only thing I'm not sure where I'm going to put are my Cricut cartridges, and you can see there's a little chunk of them right there, and I just have not figured out where I'm going to put those yet. So I'm going to go pretty slow. I'm going to give you an overview sort of how things are looking. This is the back wall, and it's in that light blue, and these are my white cubes, and I decided to go ahead and stack them. So I have 2 9 cube units, and they are stacked on top of each other. And then this little unit right here with the 3 wicker baskets, I'm hoping is going to end up actually going under my desk, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So then right next to that, I just have my clear containers, and those have different projects in them, 12 by 12 paper. You guys, I've talked about what's in those before. So then right next to that green chair and the little table, that will stay there. Right there. And the door, it does open. It doesn't open all the way against the wall, but it does open enough to where we can get out that way. And then that basket up there is just Stampin' Up goodies that are all packaged up, and they're for customer gifts and stuff. So then right here is where my table will be. I have a table in mind to use, but I'm not sure what will actually end up being there. So the table, some sort of table, will go there for my classes. So then up here is my window, and I will have my curtains from the other room hanging there, and they will go all the way up to the ceiling. You can see the ceiling still is not painted, and we still have to do that. And then trim will go around that window. And then down here are my Project Life carts. These are the 2 IKEA carts that I got. And I've gone into detail what's in them before. And then they slide right over here to my desk. So they slide right here when I'm working on my album. So then there's the door, and that goes to the outside. So that's where you can come in and go out. And then on this wall, you can see that stuff in that basket just still needs to be hung up. Obviously, I'll do that once we paint. It's just kind of there. Here's white bookshelves. I had these in my other room. The design of this room and the colors and the design were all chosen based on what my other room looked like and the other design of my room, because I didn't want to change. I didn't want to have to change a lot of the stuff that I had already painted. I didn't want to have to change it out. So the brown basket right there has non-Stampin' Up ribbon that I use. The basket right next to it has retired Stampin' Up ribbon. That container right there, the silver container, is just it's prizes for my classes. Down below, that first one has pictures in it. So my current 2014 pictures are stored in there. The middle one is empty, and then the last one has card bases in it. My sewing machine is at the bottom. Up top is my Big Shot, and then all of my Big Shot items are in those two containers right there. One has dies in it, and the other has framelits and embossing folders. Down here is my trimmer. Right on top of those two green units is my trimmer. And then those two green drawers, they house like my small ink pads, Cricut, accessories. It's not finalized yet. I just dumped everything in there that didn't have a place to go, basically. So then right next to it is my ATG gun. My Cricut is on the bottom there, but that might be moving. So I'm gonna go over here by the door, and I'm gonna give you a broad shot of the work area. So right here is where I do all my filming and stamping. And then the middle is just workspace. And then the very end is where my office basically is. So that's my computer and all my computer work, my printer, anything that is office related, that's where I sit to do it. So over here, this piece right here, this white shelf and this white shelf are the shelf that my husband he made them. In my old room, he specifically designed it for my 8-foot table, and this part was on the back, and then this part came out. It was an L shape. It worked out amazingly perfect. When I got everything down here and I was moving everything around, it could not have worked out better. So what ended up happening is I put my 6 cube unit at the end here, and down below is office stuff that's not staying there and my Clorox wipes. That box in the corner right there is photos. The next box up are catalogs. That clear box right there is photo memorabilia. That box right there has all my embossing powders in them, and they're not staying there. They're going to be put up on the wall shortly. And then the top box is all mailing stuff, labels, my weight thing, the thing what's it called? To weigh stuff. I can't think of it. My scale. And then this right here is scrap paper. I'll show you more of that in a minute. And then those are my writer markers. And then right on top of it is that what used to be the L shape for that shelf, and it has all my ink pads on it, and they fit amazing. And then this stuff right here are all of my embellishments. So this is where I stand to stamp. This desk, the desktop and the drawers came from IKEA. So these are the Alex drawers, and I have 4 of them. And then I have 3 of the 47-inch tabletops. Now, the wall behind me is a stucco wall. So in order for my table to be flat, or flat against the wall, a couple things needed to happen. So first, the tabletop, the width of them is smaller than my 8-foot table was. So it made it a little bit cramped for me as far as work area, and especially with this shelf on it. So what I had my husband do is screw a board into the back here. So this allowed my tabletop to go flush against the wall. And then it also, you can see, allowed a good inch or so, inch and a half maybe, of space back there where this could sit. So he just did it into this wall. It's not hard to screw into that wall at all. It just, takes a little bit of strength. So, he's got to add another board right here on this end, and then we'll have to anchor my desk in. But I wanted a little bit of a area in the back where I could run cords for lights. So right here, this worked out really perfect. This is all of my scrap paper. So I wasn't utilizing this. I was keeping all my scraps, but I wasn't utilizing them. And this container works out perfect. It fits perfectly right there. And it's right within reach that I can grab it. And then I just have a small bag of designer paper. I keep all my designer paper in a separate area, but some pieces are too little to stick back there. So I love that. That has worked out perfect. Again, all my ink pads are right there. My light is in this corner, and then those are Stampin' Up buttons just in those containers. So this is where I stamp. So back here is this little thing. I love it. I had seen Wendy. She had gotten one, and I just absolutely loved it. I thought it was the cutest thing, and I just got it at Walmart. I got mine on clearance for $4. And it has my baker's twine in it, and then it has a few tools that I reach for all the time. It has my Stampin' Up cleaner, which my Stampin' Up scrub is right there. And then it has the tools that I reach for the most. My snips, it has an adhesive, a bone folder, that kind of thing. So then right here, in this top drawer is all my tools, my clear blocks, and my StazOn ink. So this is like my corner rounder, my Stampin' Majig, my French scissors, and then my clear blocks. These boxes are actually paper pumpkin boxes that I just cut the top off of, and then I stuck in there for organizing. These drawers do not open all of the way. It's not horrible. There's not a lot of space back there, probably a hand length of space back there. So I just put little items back there to keep everything snug so this part doesn't scoop back when I shut the drawer. The next drawer is adhesive. So this is all of my adhesive. These are adhesives that I grab all the time, and then extra adhesive. And then I have a whole bin of backup adhesive over on my cubes. And then these are my blender pens, my aqua painter, and my blush blossom pens. The next drawer down, this is miscellaneous items. It's like extra stuff that I give away, that I do for incentives. And then it's my stamps that are not Stampin' Up, but that I do use, my Peachy Keen stamps, my Pink Stamper stamps, and then also my clay and molds. You guys, I had so much room when I moved in here. I didn't even know what to do with the space. So next down are like pretty packages. Our line of, boxes and stuff and bags, and then a little baggie of like little ribbons, the clear boxes that we have. It's kind of just really miscellaneous items that I have nowhere else to put. So the very bottom drawer has my re-inkers. They're in our clear boxes. It has my glue gun, my hot, my, what's it called? Heat embossing tool, and glue sticks, and then it has an extra power strip that will go over here eventually. My embossing powder is still going to be hung up on that shelf, and that shelf will be right here. I just wanted to paint before. Wendy got me these shelves from IKEA. She got them for me for my birthday. I hung 3 up here. Originally, I was going to stack 2, one and then another one, but I decided that it would be too high and it really wouldn't work. So my camera, that's where it gets mounted when I'm taping, and then it just has some decorative stuff. All of those are my retired stamps. On that shelf are retired stamps that I don't want to get rid of. And then there's some just decorative stuff over there. So in this drawer right here is my ribbon and my washi tape. So this is all ribbon that's not retired, and I just cut little cardboard strips, and I made them really snug so that my ribbon would stay snug in there. And then this is just, I had a couple old style core kit boxes that were like the pizza boxes. I think you can get these on Amazon, just the box, and they literally fit perfect in here. So all my washi tape is in here, and again, it doesn't open all the way, but I can dig back there and get it. It's not a big deal. The next drawer is stickles, and then these little glass jar bowl things I got from IKEA, and there's like, these are the clay flowers that are dried. This is just some extra bling, some wood veneers. The next drawer is my class drawer, so anything I'm working on for classes go in that. And I literally just reused everything I had. These boxes, it was from Stampin' Up Fabric that I got. I reused the box. This wooden thing was something I already had stuck in there. The next drawer is Stamp Kit of the Month. The bottom drawer is projects I'm working on. So there's a little mini album, there's some stuff that I'm sewing, that kind of thing. Down below that's my trash bag. That is Stampin' Up designer paper, and then the next one is our designer stacks. And then that's my grid paper, and then down the very bottom one is 12 by 12 Stampin' Up paper that's all retired. I'm going to show you the shelf, and then I'm going to go ahead and stop the camera, and I'll do a part 2 for the rest of it, because I think this video is probably getting long. Okay, so this shelf holds all of my current, the ones that are lined up straight across are all current stamps that are not retired. The very end, those are all celebration stamps or stamps that have retired like this year, like in the last couple months. So then I have those boxes down there are my Stampin' Up wheel sets that I take off the wheels. They're, one box has all my Stampin' Spots, another box has photopolymer stamps, another one has paper pumpkin stamps. And then there's some photopolymer stamps sitting on top there. So then I have all my punches, and I have some retired punches that are up there. I keep all my punches and I keep them out because I use them for punch art and stuff. And then I have a little bit of room down here to grow as new stamps come out. So this box right here is Stampin' sponges or daubers, the chalk. In that one container right there are pencils. And then the next one up is something, I don't remember what's in that. And then watercolor crayons are there as well. Right above that are just some miscellaneous embellishments, and there's some stuff that needs to go on another shelf that's just not hung up yet. Down here is another box of just some miscellaneous embellishments and stuff that I use. The top one, it's worked out nice for my office area to have that, like there's cards for my downline, there's just a candle there, that kind of thing. That at the very end right there is a little card container. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause this, and then I'll come back for part 2. Hi guys, I'm back for part 2. So I ended right here. So this is my work area. It's my office area. I have this light right here that I pull out and take over there to do filming with, and then it also works well for when I am working. So up here on this shelf, I just have a photo of my kids and a little knick-knack thing, and then right under that shelf, I have my not flyer, but my, what's it called? It's not a flyer, it's a, go ahead, yell out to me, what is that? I don't know, my little thing that when I promoted to manager. And then I have our statement of the heart hanging right there, and then I also have that little wheel thing, that right there, and then I have a couple pinwheels over there. Actually, Wendy made those when the spice cake paper was out, and she was just going to throw them away, and I couldn't bear it because I love that paper, so I took them and I use them in my room. So I have my Mac computer right here, and then this is just another screen. And so I have dual screens so that, you know, usually I have my email up and then I'm blogging. That's always fun. And then this right here, so funny. So this thing right here that my laptop is on, it was actually a paper towel holder that you hung up. You can see right here, look, here's the holes. And it came from a friend's house. She's a really good friend. And when she was moving out, I took a couple things. When she was moving out, she was getting rid of some things. And I took it, and I've always had it, and it works perfect. I don't hardly ever move my computer from that spot. So it works out perfect. I have that there. And then below I have 3x4 grid cards, and I do notes with those. I have, this is one of our pretty packages box, and I just covered it, and it has like my PayPal card, sticky notes. It just has a couple miscellaneous items. Whoops. And then this thing right here, actually Wendy made me. It is this little, it's 3 little drawers, and I have paper clips. It's hard to see the lighting. I have paper clips in there, and then it was done in the spice cake paper, and so it fits perfectly right under there. So it worked out perfect to have that there. I have a little paper stand right there. It has my catalogs on it. And then behind here, you can see that board, you can see the board ends right there. And then all of my computer cords are plugged in back there, and they're all nice and neat, tucked back in there. That power strip sits perfect, kind of wedged right in there. So in this drawer, these drawers is where it gets kind of not so organized. This is stuff that it's basically an empty drawer stuff I was working on. Down here again is some computer, my digital studio stuff, and then some stuff that I'm working on. Here's a little bin of extra product, that kind of thing. Here are all my envelopes. So what has been really nice is everything from that cart that I used to have to walk across the room to get into is now right at my desk. So here are all my envelopes. These are all my clear bags. So I have my Stampin' Up bags, my 12x12 bags, 6x6 bags, all here, and then clear bags down here. So this is for packaging of stuff. Over here on this side, this is what I love the most. This is my planner and my to-do list and my pen. And then I have a catalog. I usually keep my catalogs tucked in there, but I can clear them off my desk when I don't want to look at them. This is all office stuff. So again, I just love this. My extra printer ink is here, my 3-hole punch, all my extra pens, my date, my address stamp, my thank you stamp. These are all extra Stampin' Up pens. I actually just got these on the clearance rack. They're the more mustard color, which I adore, and they were $1.38. So I got a bunch of them. The next one is all of my filming stuff. So this is all my cameras, my point and shoot camera, my big camera to take photos for my blog, my video camera is usually down there, my charger for my video camera, all my SD cards for different things, my label maker, all my computer cords, my backup, drive, everything's down there. Down here is all tax stuff, receipts and stuff. I throw it down there until I organize it. And then this is all customer stuff and business cards. So if I have something to send to a customer or a downline or something, I put it down there. So then this unit actually worked out really nice to go here. It has my printer there, and then I have a little container right next to it that has extra paper. And then that's all folders, and I just have magazine holders right there, and I actually just got cardboard magazine holders at IKEA. I got like 8 of them for super cheap, I think like under $5. And I just have all my folders there, last year's catalog, I have a couple 3-ring binders, order forms, that kind of thing. And then the very bottom of that has a drawer in it, and it has like tutorials that I've purchased or that have been given out at meetings or anything like that. So in my cubes are pretty much just the same stuff that has always been there. The bottom 3 is all fabric. That stuff right there are all photos. That's some extra Project Life cards for my daughter. She gets into and uses. There's some cards organized there. This thing right here, I'm hoping eventually will fit right here. So we're getting ready to raise my desk by about 1.5 inches so I can stand and work easier. And I'm hoping that this right here will fit right here after we raise it, and that would be perfect because that has actual cards that I use to send out to people. The very bottom one has all extra adhesive, like extra adhesive for my ATG gun. Like it has tons and tons of adhesive. And then the top one is actually, it has some old stamps in there right now, but I'm not sure that that is what would stay in there. I'm thinking about getting rid of those. So then there's just some boxes that have some items to alter. There's some brown paper from when we used to get brown paper in our Stampin' Up shipments. There is some extra product that I do for giveaways and for customers. There's a box up there for my kids that has kids stuff in it that I pull out to put in their bags for church. There is some altered projects that I've worked on in the past that I don't really want to get rid of. So it's just really all the standard stuff that you guys had already seen. So what's left to do in here is obviously paint. I said that. We're going to be doing trim. You see all that yellow stuff on the door is spray insulation that's dried that we have to now cut off. There's part of the wall back there that needs to be trimmed down. And then really all the other stuff is just like putting the trim up and then hanging up all of my stuff. And we still have to paint that portion of that back wall. Kind of funny. That needs to be painted. And so we just got the longer paint stick and the correct rollers because you have to have special rollers to paint stucco. So that is my room, guys. I adore this space. I really am so thankful for the space. I am so amazed at how wonderful it is to work in and how I just don't feel so crowded and stressed being down here. It's quieter down here. So I really love it. I just really, really love it. And I'm so glad to have it. I'm going to have pictures over on my website and then links to some of the different products that I've talked about. And, yeah, I'll give you guys a update once we paint and everything and I get things hung up. I'll kind of do like a little mini tour and just show you guys it really finished. It's, you know, craft rooms are a work in progress always. Like even my other room, I was always changing things and putting different things up and changing how I organized things because it really is, it depends on what works for you. So you can have a really pretty room. You can duplicate somebody's room because it's very, very pretty and you can do everything that they do. But if it does not work for you, then it's not going to be functional for you. And I had a really unique situation where I was actually able to see Wendy's. She redid her craft room office a year ago, like last year at this time she was doing it. And so I've kind of been able to be in her space and I've worked in her space and I've stamped in her space. And I was able to kind of know going into what I wanted, what didn't work, like what wouldn't work for me in her space. And what she said, in fact, I was going to have my countertop at counter height so that I could just always stand. And as we were putting things in, she said, I just really don't like that about my room. I wish I wouldn't have done that. And she kind of went into some reasons why. And so I decided not to do full counter height at 34 inches, but I decided not to do full, just normal desk height where you could sit. I decided to do kind of an in-between. So that's really the thing is that craft rooms are always changing and evolving, and you're always finding different things that work better for you. And so if you're getting ready to do a craft room or you are changing yours, I really would suggest thinking about what really works for you when you're in your space creating. And it doesn't necessarily have to be pretty if it works for you. It may not necessarily be pretty that all my stamp sets are just out like that against the wall, right in my face, basically, but that's what works for me. I like them right there where I can reach them. So anyways, thanks guys for coming by, and I will talk to you later this week. Bye.